Hi, everybody. Erica here from In the Company of Cards with my good friend Lena down under. Hi, Lena.
Hi, good evening to you on a Wednesday. I'm
Good
coming from
evening.
Thursday morning.
Yes, you are. Do you feel like you have more, I don't know, like breathing room of late since a couple of people have left the scene or one and a half have left the scene? Don't you feel like it's getting
Stretch, stretch.
I just want to say hi, everybody. Hi to our audience and welcome, and certainly welcome to the people who will watch this in replay. You'll be able to see it on Lena's channel and also here, of course, on my channel. So, my God, I mean, what a week already, and it's only Wednesday.
I know. And that's what happens with the type of work we do and everything else too, is that you're so focused here and then something happens over there and you're constantly,
It doesn't end.
trying to catch up.
It doesn't end. Well, so on the Lindsey Graham thing, I don't sleep well as a rule. So one of those nights I just happened to be up and scrolling and I saw the news. So I verified that it was true, and then I raced over to Substack and put a little note. And he took the seat of South Carolina senator, for those who don't know, took the seat of Strom Thurmond. And the seat.
I've forgotten that.
Yes, and it was a perfect seat for him. I mean, he fit right into that seat. There was no, he didn't need to grow into it at all. He was perfect for that seat. Strom Thurmond also being an abject racist, whatever. But anyway, now Lindsey is gone, and now the rumor mills start. It is a little weird, I have to say. So he goes to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And then comes back from Ukraine, talks to who on the phone, says he doesn't feel well, makes a joke and says, I can't die now. I have to get this aid through and with Ukraine and get Israel. And then boom, now. Of course, everybody wants to say that it was some slow-acting poison that the Russians slipped him, because it's way sexier a story, is it not, than the fact that heredity had its way with him. His father died the same way, young. His heart just...
And he's been a legendary drinker,
a legendary
forever.
drinker. Probably a little, too. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think it was natural causes. His heart blew up, his aorta blew up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you're going to go, kind of that's the way to go, right?
Yeah.
And so
yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say how people talk about the dead.
Right.
That's what we want to talk about. And there are many who are pussyfooting around, trying to rewrite him as a decent person. But at the same time, Erica, I haven't seen so many damning obituaries as has come up on my feed too. I'm quite astounded at a lot of the podcasts.
Well, I'm going to say this is another Pluto in Aquarius thing, because we thought that one of the things that what we wanted to focus on, audience, is what I'm calling respectability politics of death, and respectability politics, period, where somebody dies and all of a sudden we have to. Cory Booker is the one who's getting a lot of heat. Mostly from Black people, which I think is appropriate. I don't think white people necessarily need to weigh in on this. But he modulated his voice as one does when one speaks of the dead. You don't want to wake anybody up, so you speak in a very quiet voice about how you had the good times that you had and the laughs that you shared, he was a good man, and I disagreed with him, but he was a good man. He was not a good man.
No,
But
that's
anyway,
the problem. That is the problem. No. And
no,
it's the lack of honesty
right,
in
right,
this
right. Well,
that is disturbing. And
it
there's got
is.
to be a way to have a public thing of not rubbing everyone's nose in the face that another mortal has died. At the same time, unless we have honesty, this just keeps happening.
Well, I think the Pluto and Aquarius thing is in operation because it has
Yeah.
always been a pretty modern convention, not modern, a pretty standard convention that we don't speak ill of the dead. How old is that expression? It's from time immemorial, and yet, as you say, assuming that you're not a politician, right, who feel the need to do that polite speak, you're right. There has been a lot out there about him. Part of why is that there were apparently a lot of NDAs signed, non-disclosure
Yes.
agreements.
Now
And so they're null and void. If somebody's dead, then the dead have no privacy, is what the law says. So we've had these, exposés, and it's pretty gross reading. But at least people feel like they have a right to their experience with this person, right? So I will say, and I mean, maybe it's my age, I was a little taken aback by the felons' lack of decorum. I mean, supposedly they were friends, and I mean,
well, if we strip back what's going on, I think we now know much more about narcissists than possibly we did before.
true.
And they don't have friends. They
Right.
only have people who can improve their situation in relation to X and Y. They actually don't have friends. So I think that was Trump at his most effusive. I think it was him doing his very best.
Well, to make your case, after trying to say whatever about he was a good man, he worked hard, you're right, because he's now bemoaning the fact that he doesn't have him there for the SAVE Act. He doesn't have him there for the war because he was quite the war hawk. He doesn't have Lindsay there. Well, and so then what do? They put Lindsay's sister in. Lindsay's sister, I'm sure, is a lovely woman.
I actually thought it was satire when it came up on my feed. Seriously, I thought, I'm going to look at this meme only to find his sister has now been.
Well, you know what? They talk about DEI. Right, DEI. Listen, I'm sure she's a lovely woman. I'm sure she loved her brother who raised her, because both their parents died young, and he raised her from the age of 13. Kudos to him for that. If I had to say one good thing, he did that. She apparently helps people who are, I don't know if they're blind or down and out in some way, helps them find jobs. So she does good work in the world. She's a mom. I think she has 2 kids. But last I checked, none of that is qualification to be a senator in the United States Senate. Right? And what's going to happen.
How can that actually happen?
Because here's what's going to happen. Those people in the Senate of Lindsay's persuasion will take her aside, and under the guise of shepherding her through the the things you got to do, but basically they will say things to her like, well, Lindsay was really into this particular bill, and he would probably want you to say yes for this or no for that. So she'll be like a puppet.
Yeah, from beyond.
Yeah, that's what they'll do.
Outrageous. Here's an interesting comment, Spiritual Hacks. Apparently, and we haven't confirmed this, but I don't have any trouble believing it, apparently he didn't so much as raise her. An auntie raised her,
Oh, see
and
that?
he paid and made her beg for it.
No. Okay, well, there you
So
go. There you go.
I
He's at
don't
the
know
bottom.
whether he made the auntie beg for the money to look after
Okay.
his sister,
Well, there
or
you
whether
go.
he made his sister beg for the money. Oh, that's interesting. Why am I not struggling to believe this?
Well, right. And see, and here I am, chump that I am, trying to dig some nice thing to say about
You
this
try
guy.
and be decent.
I tried, but you know what? He is at the barbecue.
But these people just take the rug out from under you, don't
They do. They do. And then we have the turtle.
Oh, lost in space.
Lost in space, which he was lost in space before he fell down. I'm just saying. We're talking
Yeah.
about Mitch McConnell, in case you didn't know. And the mystery of Mitch. And here's, speaking of respectability politics, I said this to you before we went live. I don't know why John Thune or Tillis or somebody doesn't roll up to that hospital, take the elevator up to wherever he is, wave to Elaine and say, "Excuse me, I just want to see for myself," so that they can come out and tell us what's what. His friends in the Senate say they don't know anything. Look, if it was just a regular person, okay, they're entitled to their privacy. But the people of Kentucky deserve to know whether somebody is alive, dead, or in the in-between. My vote is for
more importantly, if he's not actually dead, is he coming back? The answer's no.
No.
So they should be acting on that scenario. It's bizarre.
But it's political. They like it to stay just the way it is because they don't want to rock the boat. If they can just hold out long enough, But the thing is, okay, I mean, any man's death diminishes me. Isn't that what John Donne said? Okay, so get that out of the way. But the fact of the matter is, the Republicans cannot afford to lose anyone in moving forward on some of these votes, including Todd Blanche, who I watched the hearing this morning. I got up early. And respectability politics was at play. I thought there were two Democratic senators. Ossoff was one, and Schiff from California was the other, who did a great job in holding Blanche's feet to the fire. I think Mazie Hirono from Hawaii, I think she's from Hawaii, she started out great, but then nobody went in for the kill. Nobody went in for the kill.
I mean, he's actively being investigated.
Yes.
For two distortions of the law.
Yes. Why don't they say, so you're in danger of losing your law license? So how could somebody who's in danger of losing their law license because they've been brought up on charges in front of the, how can you justify why you should be the attorney general, the highest legal person in the land, and you're going to be up on charges? Nobody asked him that. Nobody asked him that.
I can't actually believe how feeble it was.
It was really feeble. Now, we have some hope, but not much. Who was the senator that is no longer a senator because the felon? What state was it in? Is it Georgia? I don't know. I don't know. But he did not look any too pleased by Blanche's answers. A couple of them could say, you know what, I have nothing to lose. Tillis is out. I mean, he got, and there's another one, I can't remember his name. But they could vote with the Democrats just to say, okay, felon, you screwed me. I'm doing this to you on my way out. And I'll tell you something, so much of history just hinges on the action of a single person. This is one of those moments. This is one of those.
Yes.
All they have to do is vote no. And then guess what? He doesn't have Blanche there anymore as his attorney general. Then what?
I mean, he would no doubt find another inadequate, but that's not the point. The point is this is meant to be a confirmation for the most significant role that there is.
Right. Right.
But in a way, it sort of sums it up in terms of the DOJ now has been hollowed out
Right.
and sold out
Right.
and cannot function. And that has implications for the whole of American society.
It does, but it's also very clear. I mean, this is the thing. People would ask both of us, how long is this going to last? It's going to last as long as it needs to last for everybody to get it, for everybody to
Yes,
see.
that is the answer to that question.
That's the answer to that question. So one of the things that I think is, okay, for example, why didn't they ask him this? Why didn't they say, well, you know, Pam Bondi was in front of this committee and, or the judiciary, whatever the committee, whatever committee she was in front of. And she said, you were the one who made this decision. Yeah. So what do you have to say about that? Because I mean, your predecessor. So how do you explain that? Nobody did that. But
no, all the work was there for them.
All the work was there.
It wouldn't have necessarily changed the end vote where they will blow it again by confirming the man. But they just didn't do the job.
They didn't do the job. But Lena, I don't know. Will they confirm the man? There are at least two disgruntled Republican senators whom Trump shafted, who could say, okay, this is my way to get back. But my point being that everything is on a knife's edge. And, you know, people always ask, what can I do? What can I do? This sounds woo-woo, but then again, given what we do for a living, you know, set an intention that those senators who are on the fence go the right way. You know who's in a lot of trouble is Collins, Susan Collins. There's that murder up there by ICE. Yep. And she does her typical thing. She says, well, we have to make sure that the inquiry is thorough and impartial. What? She runs a big risk of losing her race to Annie, to whoever. We don't know.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those. Surely she will
whoever
not get
it is. But she could, if she wanted to, she could vote no. Alaska, what's her name? She could vote no. Murkowski. They cannot afford, because they're two men down, one in the grave and one with one foot in the grave. This could go our way. So light a candle, set an intention, do whatever you do. Yeah. It could. I really feel like it could. I do feel that there's a shift happening.
Oh, I totally agree with that. There really is a different vibe out there, and it's really important not to come from that crushed, disappointed, exhausted space, which is totally understandable, but to put out there the vision of what you want to see and the society you want to be part of. It's time to exercise that, because I think the oligarchs are wobbling too.
Definitely.
Right? Suddenly two things are happening with the oligarchs. One is, and Elon did this himself, by being everywhere at all points of the day and night, he took away the mystery of the uber rich.
Right.
He actually revealed them as mortals with issues and problems. This is a man who doesn't live with any of his 14 children, and we know his other proclivities, right?
Right.
So the oligarchs are not looking so shiny as they were. And then their actual financial dealings, which is with each other, are looking very shonky as well.
Yes. And it's becoming clearer and clearer. So I having said that, I want to caution people about this. So everybody was all gung ho that Kamala was going to win, and then she didn't for whatever reason. And there are multiple reasons why she didn't win. A lot of people were really crushed. They thought, I gave money, I campaigned, I phone banked, I voted, I did this, that, as though like a child would say, well, I ate my spinach. Why don't I have big muscles right now? Not understanding that it's not quite as cause and effect as we think. But I will say this. Let's say the worst happens. And Blanche gets confirmed. You know what I'm going to tell myself? I'm going to tell myself, okay, this means it's going to get worse, even worse than it is now. But that is clearly, apparently, what needs to happen for even more people to wake up. In all things, give thanks.
This is my new mantra now. The bad news is the good news.
That's it. That's right.
Right. So when something, and of course it does at hourly intervals, you're slapped in the face with some other outrage and horror, just take that moment to go, well, this is closer to the end game.
That's right.
For this reality.
That's right.
We are not going to keep living in this reality. So, keep anchored and stay focused.
Yes. In all things, give thanks. This is a complete tangent. But, I keep track of this Charlie Kirk thing.
Oh,
and, the government wants to say that it was the Tyler Robinson who did it, lone gunman. Okay, but meanwhile, the microphone blew up. There's no exit wound. There's just so many strange things about it. Well, there's a guy, his name is Blake Neff, who worked for Charlie. And he arrived on the plane, they had a private plane to get to Nevada for where Charlie did the event where he lost his life. And so this guy, Blake Neff, was on, and he's sort of helping to take over Turning Point USA. So he was on a podcast. So the podcaster said, so were you on the plane with him in the private plane? Yes, I was on the plane. So then what? You landed, and there were two SUVs. Yeah, so the guy says, Blake Neff says, yeah, Charlie and people got in one, and I was in another one with some other people. So the podcaster says, well, where did you go? Well, I don't remember. Well, who else was in your SUV? Well, I don't know. Well, where were you? In other words, I believe what Candace Owens believes, which is that it was an inside job aided by the country with the blue and white flag. And I think a lot of people who purportedly were close to him, to Charlie, were in on it. And there's all this photographic evidence of like this person with a bald head. Who has a bald head? Blake Neff has a bald head, who can't remember where he was that day. Look, when Kennedy died, I was 7 years old. I know exactly where I was.
Yes, that's right.
I remember the teacher telling us. I remember the look on her face. I remember they told us we were going home early. So we walked down the stairs, and then she got to the bottom of the landing, and she stopped so short that we all fell backwards because we were. It's pretty funny, all these second graders. And but so we started laughing, but then we looked at her face, and she was crying. I never saw a teacher cry. And then she told us what happened. And then we all went home and watched what we watched on television. I wrote a letter to the widow, the picture that I drew. I wrote the caption was, I was big in the picture. And then I thought, I'll put my brothers in because, it's the nice thing. But I hardly had room on the page. So they were like little insects next to me, but they were there. And I wrote the caption was, I am sorry that President Kennedy is died. And so my father said, well, you can't say is died. You have to say dead. And I burst into tears and I said, I can't say dead. The word sounded so mean, like dead. Yeah. So my mother said, well, we'll take out the is, and then you can just say President Kennedy died, because she understood what I remember that like it was yesterday. How can Blake Neff not remember where he was?
And I'm here to report that when we were in school, when Kennedy was killed, it was exactly the same. Our lessons were suspended. That never happened,
Right.
Everything was stopped, and the headmaster came into each classroom and told us.
And told you. So you remember that.
It's seared into my brain.
It's way more, for both me and you, it's way more than half a century ago. And this guy, supposedly a friend with Charlie, was on his private plane, can't remember who he was in the SUV with, where they went, what they did. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know. I can't remember. That's very shady. I'm just saying that things are not what they appear to be on so many levels.
None of it's adding up. I'm not saying Tyler Robinson is innocent.
No, he wasn't innocent, but he wasn't a lone actor either.
Wasn't a lone actor.
No, right. So I think that right now, and I wrote about this yesterday in my Substack, so if you're not on Substack, go over there and read my piece, is I said that illusion is just, it looms large on so many levels. We've got one guy dying out of the blue. And I have to say, the absence of the lack of his presence feels like a good thing. Now, when I say that, what I mean is, when my husband died, I came to understand that grief was like a presence. It's like, do you know what I'm saying? It's like a presence. Well, Lindsay's being gone feels also like his absence is a presence, but in this case, I feel lighter. When I couldn't sleep that night, and then I found out he was dead, I did my little Substack thing, and then I fell asleep for like 9 hours.
Deep sleep.
Deep sleep. So we have that. The McConnell thing is very strange. The hearing today was very strange. I think there's another one tomorrow. The guy that's supposed to take over for Bill Pulte, who's replaced, what's the one with the white streak in her hair? Tulsi Gabbard. He had his hearing today too, and he was asked, this is what he was asked. So who won the 2020 election? Well, Biden was the president. Well, no, who won? Well, he got the most electoral votes. So is he the rightful president? He couldn't say. The guy couldn't say. This is the head. He's up for the job of head of national intelligence. So I'm just saying, if these guys get through, tell yourself, okay, I know who I'm dealing with now. These people who had the opportunity to do the right thing didn't. Isn't that good information to have?
Yes, exactly. Right? Exactly.
I mean, at a certain point, it's impossible to say, I don't see it, I can't hear it, I don't know. And I think the more people that are waking up, and people seem to be, you know what? They're either waking up or they're becoming even more ugly than they were.
Yes, I think that's it. I think what's shifting is the numbers game within that. So I think more and more are quietly not supporting MAGA and the madness anymore. And it's really hard to get a percentage number on that because they're not likely to even admit it.
Right.
But there's that falling away. And then there's those, the independents who didn't like Trump, but thought he'd be good on the economy.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't. I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't believe a single damn person that says that. I think it's a great line. I think it's a great costume to put on, a great mask to put on. Here's what you thought, not you. Here's what they thought. They thought it would be great for the economy for them. They knew damn well that it was going to hurt certain people. But as long as it wasn't them, those people are expendable. as long as it was going to help it. They didn't. Anybody that says to you, I just thought he would be good for them, based on what exactly?
And it doesn't add up. The economic argument never adds up.
It doesn't add up. No, it's a lie. And it's a lie that people who tell the lie, a lot of them believe that lie. A lot of them do believe that lie. So no, they no. I will say too, on a good note, I've seen a lot of white creators on Instagram coming on and talking to white people about racism and what they now realize that they didn't realize before, and the systemic nature of it, and the big con that it is on everybody, not just
Yeah.
I think that's really great. I see a lot of courage. I see a lot of women Southern women who will go on there and say, I was raised to believe that the best thing that I could be was not so much smart or even pretty, but nice. Nice. If I had a lot of friends and if everybody liked me and I was nice, that was good. Well, those are like chains without the iron.
Absolutely.
And they're starting
and
to
it's particularly pronounced in the South.
But I'm telling you what, they are starting to wake up, and you'll see these really unassuming grandmother looking women, like older women. And so people will go and watch what they do and then listen to what they say, and they'll even follow them until they open their mouth, and then they'll unfollow because they're so horrified that what these old ladies are saying is stuff that you and I would say.
Yes.
It's a beautiful thing. It's never too late to wake up and be on the right side of things.
That's right. And I think that's why there's this resurgence of the trad wife as a model for women.
Yeah.
And I saw a clip last night from that lovely woman I follow, Life Take Two, and she said trad wives are ending up homeless and broke.
That's right.
Because they leave it too late, then can't handle it another minute, and then they're punished within their patriarchal communities by being cut off from the house and the access to his money and stuff.
Right. Those are chains too. The house, the cars,
Absolutely.
all of that. Those are chains. Absolutely. But I am seeing waking up on a grand scale, and we will be able to separate wheat from chaff. If people want to be chaff, that's fine, but I would just as soon know that. Do you know what I'm saying? Instead of people smiling in your face and you don't know what they think. So it is. I think there's the dawning of a more honest era.
Exactly, and I think for young people who have really been made to walk across the coals. And not just in America, college debt that they can't possibly pay, and graduate jobs aren't existing on good enough salaries to make it viable to pay off your education, and on every other measure, things are not good. And I think they're going to jump over the conventional politics. And now we actually have, and I never thought I'd live long enough to see this, the Democratic Socialists of America having its own acronym, DSA, and it's suddenly a player.
Well, not only is it a plan, the response to it, the negative response is so weak, because who's negatively responding? People who remember back in the day when Khrushchev was the bad guy, and the Cold War was going on, and all that stuff that nobody's thinking about that right now. No. So these young people, it's very exciting. And I will say too, they're listening to what some of these conservatives are saying. For example, the hearing today, what was the talking about abortion. Oh, it was one of those Southern senators, and methylpristone, the medicine that for this, that you can get in the mail in a lot of different states, so that you can. And this man sat up there and talking about this is so bad for women. It causes hemorrhaging and abdominal pain. And I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. As a woman who gave birth, hemorrhaged once a month for many years, is he really going to fix his mouth to say that, and to say that, to therefore deny these women this pill? Oh, why? So they can go 9 months, have a baby that they're not equipped to. And are you going to take care of that baby? Are you going to subsidize that baby? It's like Charlie Kirk's Goal Group. What do they say? Turning Point. What did she say? And why her name has to be Erica? I don't know. She says, have more babies than you can afford.
Great. That's really thought out position.
And women are saying, wait, what? What? So keep talking, keep doing, keep it up.
Yeah, do it. Throw it all out there. Throw these disgusting retrograde medieval ideas out there. Do it.
Well, did you hear about Hegseth, his latest? You probably didn't hear it.
What's happened?
Okay. So he does a little, like a PSA, with his hair all. So it was a message. Yeah, it was like a commercial, but it was an announcement to the military. They're going to require military people to have tests on testosterone level, whatever it's called, the level of that in their blood, because in order to be, real fighting machines, that level needs to be up. So we're going to help you with that. We're going to test your levels. Yes, we're going to test your levels, and if it's too low, then we're going to...
And we'll bump it up for you.
Bump it up. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm not digesting that information.
It's cartoonish.
It is cartoonish, and it's cosplay warriordom, like all of this.
Yes. And so even the people who are the blindest and the most not paying attention, there will eventually be something that gets through.
An issue that affects them.
That's right. Some mothers say,
it will really matter.
You're going to give my child hormones to make him more, what? And of course, I don't know what they're going to do with the women, but I guess he doesn't want women in the military. So is he going to give them testosterone too? I don't know.
But you can see pockets of resistance.
Yeah.
Did you see the footage when he addressed the naval serving members?
Yeah.
And heaps of them had beards because he'd sent out a directive, no beards.
Well, do you know?
Now, the Navy has a tradition of beards. Show me a sailor in any, historical picture.
No. Do you know why? There's a reason why he said that. Okay, here's a little inside baseball. So, he wants a clean-shaven G.I. Joe looking.
Sure.
Okay, but he's also a raging racist. Black men, a lot of them, a huge percentage of black men.
Yes, do have a skin condition.
So that when they shave, they get those bumps on their face, which are very painful, and they can get inflamed and infected and all of that. So that's why they were wearing. Nobody's saying you're a mountain man with the beard.
No.
It just was so that they wouldn't have to experience that. So he doesn't want women in the military, but he doesn't want blacks in the military too.
No.
So that was why he put that rule out. So the fact that people have grown a little facial hair, that is in contradiction to his order. I think that is quite a protest, and I think it's a move in solidarity for black soldiers.
I do too. And good on them.
Yeah, good for them. Exactly. We resist where we can. I don't know.
Oh my God. Now, something from last week, Erica. As we were signing off last week, we were going, we have to talk about naming of things.
Naming.
Yes. Who gets to write the history and who gets to name the mountains and the lakes and the oceans?
Well, you know, of course, the felon would like everything named for him.
Yeah.
And it is just a thrill to see that get shot down at every opportunity. But this is what we are talking about today. We were going to do that, but have we not been talking about that naming? Who gets to name what? Like Mitch McConnell. What are we going to call that? Are we being respectful of someone who's ill? Are we being polite? Are we being avoidant because we don't want anything to happen to that Senate seat? So we're just going to let it stay in limbo, but we're going to call it concern for the sick. You see what I'm saying? It's all about how you phrase it.
Yeah. And so you've got this ego on steroids with Trump and the Kennedy Center debacle and all this. He's put out the coin, the commemorative coin with his face. But also, how can we forget the Gulf of America? Right? So it's been the Gulf of Mexico since 1586 or something, but just the rest of the world refuses to acknowledge that. And again, it's just a little statement. So if you have a Google map anywhere else in the world, it is still the Gulf of Mexico.
Good.
Then he cares about mountains in Alaska, he wanted to change the name back, and I think he did, from Denali to Mount Mackenzie or whatever.
McKinley. Yeah, he did.
Now, it would have taken years of advocacy to have its traditional name probably given to it, and that gets wiped out in a nanosecond.
You know what? Somebody mentioned to me that they wanted me to talk about all of the changes that are happening at the White House. So now he wants to change the columns that are in there because whatever. And he's got also now a fence going around the White House, which they didn't have that before. And what I said I think I said it to this person. If I didn't say it, I'm saying it now. I think I did, but I'm going to say it again. They were saying they were really concerned. They were worried that it was going to be just ruined and destroyed. I said it will. And taxpayer money will pay for all of the gold and all of the fences and all of the algae in the water and all that. And then taxpayer money will put it back the way that it was. You know, all of this is just an outward manifestation of a lot of ugliness and rot that permeates the country and the government anyway. It's just the outward manifestation. And for some people, that they need to see that outward manifestation in order to get the point.
Yes. And it does look like a building site in the worst possible way.
It's terrible. It's horrible. I mean, I'm horrified too. But apparently, this is what is needed. We've had many, many chances before to do the right thing by our own people and by the world. And we have chosen every time not to. And so here we have, situations that people cannot ignore. It's impossible.
Yes.
So that's a good thing. In all things, give thanks. That's a good thing.
Exactly. And Rebecca says here, the White House only lacks a couple of Teslas up on blocks on the front lawn, and it would be totally Trashville.
And it's humiliating. If you're an American, it's embarrassing. I mean, I had nothing to do with it, but as an American, it's just embarrassing. On the other hand, this is the clown that we have, and this is what he's doing. So,
and I think on the upside of all of this, because I'm still fundamentally optimistic about the dynamic for humanity going forward, people have to see it stripped back.
That's right.
To the point at which you can no longer support that fantasy
That's
idea
right.
of what a leader should be, what a country should be. What is patriotism? You know how the right always kidnaps the best words.
Yeah.
Patriot, liberty, freedom,
Yep.
they just have to plaster this on everything. So it's really important that individual, decent thinking Americans push back on this whatever way you can, but don't let all your energy follow that project. Keep centered and be part of the
Exactly.
new stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Here's some good news. Apropos of nothing. What's his name? Elon Musk is going to be brought up on charges in
Yes,
where is it? In New York?
Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. Yeah. Because Wisconsin, that's where he went, where he said he was going to give out $1 million to people.
Yeah, step right up.
I love it. And he did give 2 million apparently away. So 2 people got, but this is terrific. I mean, finally, and I think it's going to be down to the states to have their individual reactions. I mean, if the country as a whole can't get it together, then let individual states set the example. I think it's great.
Yeah, I do too. And it's because they don't deliver even to their own fan base. So there's 2 levels of corruption going on in the one movement. One is buying votes outright, and 2 is, I'll give 2 away. And they would have been someone, I think I remember seeing at the time, someone on the inside would have
they were exactly.
Right. So you give to, but they don't even pay their own bribes.
Right.
That's why they're doubly horrific. Well, and reclaiming language.
Yeah.
The whole abortion thing, I think, needs to be flipped to forced pregnancy.
I love it.
Right.
I agree. I mean, I am shocked when I see these commercials. I don't know about what kind of commercials you all have, but commercials for Viagra or and I'm like,
they're not legal in Australia. No pharmaceuticals or Viagra or anything can be advertised on TV. No.
Well, okay, so here they advertise Viagra, but you certainly would never see.
No, not the progesterone, other options.
Yeah.
Exactly. And again, a little Instagram moment, and someone was saying, have you heard about Iran, where if a 12-year-old girl is raped by her father, she's forced to carry that pregnancy to term? Oh, no, sorry, it was not Iran. It was Mississippi, Alabama. And he went through and listed all the states where child marriage is normal.
Exactly. And
we point fingers at Afghanistan and
exactly.
And normal. You only need your parents' consent. It's outrageous. No protection for young girls.
And this is the party that is resistant to the e-files coming out. These were children. Why? I don't get it. Why aren't you protecting? Don't you want to? I mean, the hypocrisy is just staggering.
Yes. And when the Graham Plattner run came to an end, there was Laura Ingraham and everything going, what a terrible person. And look what they did. Duh. They don't have the slightest consistency, nor do American journalists nail them to the mast.
No.
And say, well, then we take that as a tacit approval that if anyone's found in the Republican Party to have committed these same offences, you will do your utmost to make sure they do not have a public position, won't you?
Right.
Right. Duh.
Right. It's just, that's the thing. The hypocrisy is unavoidable. If you're not seeing it, you're not paying attention. And I think it's good.
But I think for many in the heartland, they certainly couldn't spell hypocrisy, but they don't see it in those terms.
They don't. You know what? My partner was just on a trip and was in Wyoming. So I said, well, so what, did you feel like you were in, Trump land? I said, there were tons and tons and tons of American flags. Then they went to a rodeo, big flag. I said, well, what about the Trump hats and the shirt? None.
Yeah,
None.
this is what I'm hearing anecdotally too.
Very
The
interesting.
lawn signs are going, the
Yeah.
hats
The
are
hats are
fewer and
going.
further apart.
But so the MC, I don't know what they call it in a rodeo, the rodeo guy, the MC of the rodeo says, so who here's from Georgia? They're like, oh, who's here from? And then how about California? And so a couple of people raised their hand, including my partner. And the guy says, welcome to America. So in other words, we are the United States of America. That's true. And we all maybe speak English. Okay. But we really are like a whole bunch of countries stuck together in landmass.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's absolutely essential, because blue states and blue cities are demonized in these regions, and they see them as scary places, violent places, like. So, and then on top of that, you want to turn my 6-year-old son into a drag queen. It gets built in on top of already. So it's one of the things that I like about Newsom, and I say that guardedly with many caveats because other things. However, he's one of the few Dems that can actually push back on the economy argument with blue states. We give more than we take back, and we actually make this contribution. I think the Dems have been too polite for too many generations to rub the poor red states' faces in their abject failure to economically generate enough money to run their own state.
That's right.
They're all running at a loss. But Dems, that polite respectability stuff, right?
That's right. That's right.
Things are really bad, but I don't. You're not losing any votes. They're not voting for you. Just a few.
Exactly.
Just the fact,
I know.
It's so aggravating. But again, they're starting to feel it, because with the price of gas going up, as it inevitably will, depending on what's said and done overnight, it'll be volatile and it'll fall back, but from time to time. But it's not going to go back to where it was.
Well,
so they'll say, look, it's only $90 a barrel now. Like, that's a good thing.
Right. Well, and of course now, the felon is bored with the war.
Yeah, so that's the problem. He's totally bored with the war.
He's bored.
John sorted out. I'm over it. Like, he is not engaged at all with the war. So, I think what is fascinating, though, is these various colonial projects that are being enacted, like the US into Venezuela, Cuba, and then what's happening with Israel and Lebanon and Russia and Ukraine. They're starting to fuse in different ways, and the public is not falling into line as they traditionally do behind their national identity and their national governments.
Interesting. Right.
So that hasn't happened before. Normally they get to dominate the space. And even though they've bought up every news agency outlet, they can't compete, ironically, with social media. And anyone under 40 is not sitting at home waiting for the 6 o'clock news.
No.
They're not. And they're never going to.
No, that's right. So speaking of 6 o'clock news, I love the segues. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m., I think.
Oh, so God help us all. Yeah.
I know. So, okay. Well, I stupidly said, well, of course, I'm not going to watch him, but I said, maybe I'll do a live. So people are like, oh yeah, you should do it. Well, then I forgot. No, I live in the West Coast now. So
Yeah,
at
won't work.
6 o'clock, I'll be at a dinner party. So
Yeah.
I won't be seeing it regardless. Maybe I'll do a live after. But okay, just so everybody knows, I mean, I'm sure our audience is well aware, but whoever watches this later may not be. So he's going to give a speech, and the speech is about something that is just so timely, which is it's all about how the 2020 election, I didn't say 2024, I didn't say 2028, how the 2020 election was stolen. He's going to talk about Venezuela as having had some role in it in some way. He was going to talk about the senators from Georgia, but then he decided not to.
Illegitimate.
Yeah, he was going to call them illegitimate, but I guess he got so much blowback that that's come out of the speech. But anyway, just so we all are on the same page, this is sort of one of the stages to get people concerned about election integrity, with the objective being so that they don't vote, or they vote for him or his whatever he wants, or that they understand when he calls martial law or some kind of emergency that requires the elections be either delayed or be policed in some way. It's all theater. It's all theater. Nothing that will come out of his mouth tomorrow night is true. I'm surprised he could stay up that late, but okay.
Yeah, and allegedly it's going to be 90 minutes. Can you imagine a greater hell? But anyway, we will see.
I wonder if he's going to stand up or sit down.
Oh, he'll probably be sitting down these days, don't you reckon?
Yeah. I hope he stands up so he can fall down.
Well, indeed. But again, I think the Dems are notoriously reluctant to scare people. And I understand that political motivation. It was probably very important 40 years ago. But they really need to start scaring people.
That's right. That's right.
And say, you expect this guy will do anything, including issue martial law. He doesn't want you to vote. All the Republicans admit they're looking at a bloodbath. So be ready. Everyone be ready for this. Flag it. Don't hope that he just has a good day and it all just goes. No, flag it. Leave it to the GOP and him to have to defend why they're not doing that.
That's right. That's right.
Because why sorry, we're out of time, but why the socialist word is now out and about is because it's lost its evil associations in the last few
absolutely.
years. And it has to be the same with this, is don't pretend it's not going to happen. Assume it's going to happen.
That's right.
And then it looks bad when he does say 2 days before the election, I'm declaring mass. You've already called it out.
That's right. That's right.
Right? If you haven't, you'll still have people going, oh, well, something must have happened in Iran. There must need to be this thing. No, you've got to do the thinking for the public in that way.
I agree. I had a client today and they said they were worried after I answered their question. And then they said, I had one more question. They're very worried about him and all the bad things he's doing. And they were worried that all of the energy that they're focusing on him, they were like, is that feeding him? Is that making him more powerful? Like in a kind of a metaphysical sort of a way, And I mean, there is that expression, the wolf that grows is the one that you feed. I get that. But take all of that nervous energy, that anxiety, that worry to make a plan for that day when you vote. Yes. I got a thing from the NAACP. I guess they know I'm Black. And they said, would you be willing to call 30 Black people around election day and make sure that that they voted and encourage them to vote, and press this button and we'll tell you more and we'll send you the list of people. Now, of course, I'm happy to do that. So as you get solicited, because you will get solicited in your email or in your text, but respond to those things, because the more we can feel as though we are in control of our lives and our time, the less power he has over us and over this whole situation. So
Exactly.
make a plan for how you're going to get involved. Of course, he's going to try to steal it. Of course, he's going to try to intimidate people. Of course, he's going to try to get the voter rolls from every state. And of course, he's going to threaten to, what is his new thing is, he's not going to give anti-terrorism funds to the states that don't give him the voter rolls. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Come on. Don't get scared, get mad. Don't get scared, get mad.
Absolutely.
All right, you all, we will be back here next week with another pep talk or whatever we want to call this. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. And, we really value this community, and takes a village, God.
Yeah, and let us know subjects you'd like us to talk about.
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care.
Bye.